topical maps and content clusters for SEO. My name is Chris Palmer, and in today's video, what I'd like to discuss with you is topical maps and content clusters for SEO. Now, this video is directed for you, the business owner. If you have a small business, medium business, a local business, a brick and mortar business, maybe a national business like a law firm, chiropractor, are you in business? 99.9% of the businesses that my agency help is personal injury, law firms, chiropractors, plumbers, roofers, right? People that have business, not necessarily or saying that affiliate or e-com isn't a business. It is. But who I'm primarily making this video for is the business owner. Also, what brings this video up is I have highly intelligent, excellent gentlemen in my group and ladies in my group, and I keep receiving the same questions consistently about topical maps and content clusters. And I've made numerous videos on this topic, and we've even talked about this in length. And I just couldn't put the pieces together on why do these questions keep coming, right? And a quote came to me from a gentleman named W.C. Fields, right? And I'll go ahead and share this gentleman with you. His name's W.C. Fields. He was like a comedian, right? Awesome guy. He's from Pennsylvania. You might not know who he is, but he had a really awesome quote. And this is what I thought of. I'm like, why are these hyper intelligent guys coming back consistently and asking me about the same topic that we've covered, but why do they keep coming? And this quote stood out to me. It popped in my head, right? And you can read it. I won't say these words, but if you can't dazzle them with brilliance, then baffle them with. And this is why I think that the concepts around topical maps and topical clusters keep coming up, because it's there's too much fluff out there, right? So I want to clarify and clear up topical maps and content clusters. How do you create them? Why would I create them? What kind of keywords would I target? Most notably, I asked the gentleman in my group, I said, hey, what specifically could I help you with? How can we nail this down so it would make sense for you? And this is exactly what would help them out. So I want to go through these particular questions. I want to not only draw it out, but I'll use a live example on a live site. Hey, what content do I create? Where do I put it? What URL should I use? How do I internally link it? What images should I do? What alt text should I use, right? How do I get the content? How do I use SEMrush to get it, right? What keyword should I go for? How much content do I need? How much supporting content do I need? Right? These are the questions that keep coming up, right? And I want to point this out to you. If you're a small business owner, again, 99.9% of the people that I'm talking to and this channel aims to help are business owners. I want to give you some information on informational content. I want you to take a look at this. Let's just say on average, your informational content converts at a 0.4%. This is just a random figure. There's all kinds of figures, right? But this is pretty accurate. If informational content is 0.4, our product or location pages, location-based service pages where we're aiming to sell an actual product, not give information, not supporting content, right? 1.13. That's a huge difference. So when we're talking about creating a topical map, I want to talk about a couple of topics, okay? How we would lay this in here, right? How would we lay it into a site? How would we come up with the top level pages? What is a top level page? How would I make it? And then how would I come up with supporting content? Let's talk about this first, okay? Let me help explain this for you. So I'm not following this. And then I want to give a live example. I've been working on another project, so I've been dogging it a little bit. Even I slack sometimes, I know. But I slack too. We basically got a landing page up and a contact page. That's it for the proxies, but I'll show a live example of laying it in right into this site. I mean, I'm not going to build out the whole site clearly in a video, but at least I could give you the stepping stones. I'll also show you some other examples in order to help explain actual examples, live examples to show, to help you visualize exactly what am I talking about, right? I'm a visual. I'm sure you are too. All right. So enough rambling. Let's get directly into the video. Any case though, if you need any help laying out site structure or anything like that, chrisplumbermarketing.com. If you just want to talk more, maybe mastermind with us, SEOmastermind.org. We'd love to have you. I'd love to talk with you. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this. I really want to hammer in and hone in on these particular questions here. You know, where do I link from on supporting content? All right. And I'll explain here briefly. Okay. And I'll try to use a separate example. All right. Let's see if you can see this. Now, I want you to remember, or better yet, can you see my screen? I don't know if you can or not. Let me see here. Let me see what you see. Okay, so you can see the screen here. Now, for instance, all right, we're making a topical map, the top level page. All right, I want to first state that, all right, we know that proxypixie.com, this is the main domain. All right, well, when deciding our topical map, what are our top level keywords? Top level keywords could be national keywords or broad keywords, right? So what specifically would we be selling? So this is a proxy site. So what would be some top level pages that we can be doing, right? Like what kind of proxies could we be selling? I sell proxies. I sell a magnitude of proxies. I'm starting with mobile, but what would some top level pages be? Well, let's think about this. If you're a plumber, here, let's come out here. If you're a plumber, all right, plumbers do a lot of different things. So let's do plumber, New York City, right? Plumbers do drain cleaning, right? They do clogs, they do toilets, they do yada, yada, yada. They do all kinds of stuff, right? They're awesome, right? I can't fix a toilet. But in any case, let's take a look at this just as a different example. All right, let me see if this guy has it, or this particular brand has it laid out properly for y'all. I didn't go looking at these. I'm just pulling them up so I can share some information with you. Hub, I think I've seen this guy before. He's got his perfect example. Here we go. And a lot of times for these types of sites, this is the case. Now let's start building out our topical map together. All right, now let's get an understanding of what this would mean. All right, and let's use this site as an example. Now, I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that he has it right, but he's got at least the homepage right, and he has at least the top level pages correct, or at least they're inside of here correct. So let's pretend that we're Hub, and we're a plumbing company, and we're going to start laying in our top level pages together. Okay, now if we come over here, I'll lay this out for you. So we can see here that my website, again, this is just examples. I'm just so I can show you visually with actual real sites. If I come inside of here, we can see that our website here is hubplumbingnyc.com. Now this doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a law firm, a chiropractor. It doesn't matter if you're a roofer, a doctor. It doesn't matter. Top level page means either product or service. Are you an affiliate? Okay, top level is your product that you're pitching, the primary keyword. If you're a service-based business, okay, what's the service? All right, you're selling an item. Okay, what's your item name? This is top level keyword. We're starting to build our topical map. All right, now I want to share with you why I don't like the subtopic idea when we're talking about a local business. I have a premium example. I can't show you the client, but the client themselves have done this, and it has hindered their ability on their top level pages because they're building out secondaries in order to build out a topical map, and it's hindering their performance. Why? Because it's cannibalizing the keywords that they have on the top level page, right? And it's one of the secondary pages is eating so many clicks and so many impressions that they just can't take it off. Like they wouldn't do that, right? And I'll share with you that example and how that works out. But first and foremost, let's talk about this top level and these topical clusters together, okay? So our website name for this particular example is hubplumbing.com. Great. All right, that's perfectly fine. That works out great. Now, what we want to do is we want to start forming our topical map, right? So, well, what products or what services do we do? Well, let's take a look here. So, water, we do drain cleaning. I don't know if I would have did water heaters, but let's just say drain cleaning, okay? We do leak detection. We do sewer pump services. We do water quality checking. We do, what else are these guys doing? What else? Water heater installation, drain installation, leak, let's do leak prevention, sewer services. So I'm sure that branches off. What else are we doing here? I like that too, commercial. Let's do gas line inspection. So let's start laying that in there. Okay, so we have our top level keyword. We're building out our topical map. So let's just say it's first going to start with water heater installation. Okay, so we know that that's a top level page or a top level idea, right? Or a product. It could be a service. Okay, so water heater installation. What else? I forget already off the top of my head because I have multiple ideas that I want to cover before I get off of this video. So drain cleaning. Perfect. Wonderful. Excellent. I love it. Drain cleaning. Okay. So remember, so water heater installation, drain cleaning. Let's just do one more together as an example here. Okay. Now the other one is I thought I had them on here. Okay. And the other one is pump installation, we'll say. Sounds great. Wonderful. Excellent. Thrilling. All right. These are 3 services, also 3 top-level pages. Now, for a local business, all right, this would mean that these are going to be top-level ideas, okay? Now, I would probably trim this off, okay? Something like this. So that would mean that our top page, because we're not going to talk about service yet because there's a lot of other angles we can go. The angles of what I mean is because a higher converting page is a location landing page or a product page that's going to have the actual item. It's not just information to answer one informational query. Yeah, we can crank out a lot of those. But as you saw in raw data, check any source you want, blog content has a lesser likelihood of converting, right? So if I can crank out just as many location-based landing pages or broad top-level pages that have a higher chance or a higher probability of converting, why would I want to crank out informational content at double the rate that converts less? So I'm spending more money, I'm spending more dough, but my conversions are going down, right? I'm spending more time, more effort. And on top of this, as you know, if you've been doing SEO for any period of time, if you crank out 100 articles, how many of those are going to rank and actually bring in traffic? 20? 30? Like, what's your hit rate? Right? Are all of those going to hit? And then if they're supporting content and they're 3 levels deep, then how many are going to hit? You tell me. You probably know it's going to be a low amount. But as I get closer to the root, I have a higher probability of indexing, right? Indexing, staying indexed, getting traffic. And on top of it, if it's a location-based service page or a location page or a primary page, I have a higher chance of converting the actual customer, leading to a phone call, form fill, right? Isn't that what you're after? What are you after, traffic or sales? Which one is it? Sales, right? Well, then that's where we build our content map around. I build my content map around generating dollars for the business. That's it, right? Right. Anyway, back to the example of plumbing. So now we do water heater. Why did we trim it down to the root? The reason is because on that top level page, we can encompass so many different keywords and It's a top level page. If we're following this strategy, then that would mean that the top level page is also broad. So let me share with you what I would do here. So we can go here, and that's also too on top of it. If I do water heaters, I'm just helping you build out. There's multiple ways to do this. There's a lot of ways to swing a cat, right? Or whatever terminology you want to use. Water heater. Okay. Now, again, if I want to build a top level page, okay, this could be drains. Okay. Again, now we're doing pumps. All right. This is a top level page. We are starting to build out our cluster. Okay. Now, this is where I see a lot of business owners, and I'm going to use a specific example as that I see with a particular client that I can't mention their names, but I can share with you the example of what's happening. Okay. For instance, if I were to have water heater, and I would do electric water heaters, okay, or I would do water heaters, yeah, electric water heaters, and then I would do electric water heater installation, or then I would do repairs, right? Like keeping it in instead of making its own almost like category. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Now the example that I'm really referring to is, let's say that for instance you have another example, a truck accident lawyer. Okay, and let's just say it's like this, right? We have website.com. This is where I don't want to see you, because I see a lot of examples out online where they're saying, okay, hey, you got a website, you have main topic, and then you have subtopics, right? But I assure you, you're just going to eat off of your main page. Like, that secondary isn't worth it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not worth it. If it's worth its own page, then it's worth its own page. Don't piggyback and think you're going to get more. So what I mean by this is this. So if I have website.com, okay, and then I'm going after truck accident lawyer, we're going to say, and then we do jackknife, okay, and then on top of that, then what we'll do is we'll have the truck accident, and then you'll build a boatload of different types here. So jackknife, you'll do box truck, right? You'll do semi, right? You'll do semi, jackknife, box truck, garbage truck, right? Instead of building out its own page, it's piggybacking. Like, if garbage trucks are worth going after, then build a top level page. But no, the money's in going after truck, right? Or whatever it is. It could be your case. It doesn't matter. I'm just using this as an example. But what ends up happening is this, okay? If I have this particular thing here, and I have a truck accident, and then back here I have 18-wheeler, we'll just say, okay? And then on top of that I have this. This is what I see a lot. I see this on so many different sites, it's not even funny. I'll see this truck accident, and then I'll see semi-truck. They'll have these pages just like this, all of them, and they'll just go, and then they'll, on top of that, then they'll have a commercial semi-truck, right? And then wonder why I can't rank this page when I have 9 other or 7 other or 5 other or even 1 other page that's siphoning traffic off of my main top ranking topical page, right? Because, and this is what I see a lot of times, and I highly disagree with this if you're building out your topical map, right? So if I have the web page, and how it's drawn out doesn't matter, okay? It's just a drawing. It's just to illustrate ideas, all right? I had somebody ask me that. Hey, Chris, what if the spider's over here, right? Like, well, what if I have 4 here? Like it doesn't matter how it's drawn. It's just illustrating the flow and where it's flowing to. But this is what I mean. So they'll have something like this, and they'll go like this, and then this will be top level, or primary, we'll call it primary. So this is primary keyword, and then what will end up happening is this. Then they'll build this, and then they'll say, okay. Oh, sorry, it didn't draw how I wanted it to, which is perfectly fine, I guess. But then they'll do this. So then they'll do 1, 2, 3, and then they'll call this secondary. And then down here, what they'll do is they'll do this: 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then this here is supporting content, right? Support. Now I illustrated this homepage, primary keyword, right? Primary page. In the example above here, it's truck accident lawyer. Here would be your jackknife, right? Commercial, semi-truck, whatever, right? It doesn't matter. If we're talking about, I don't know, water heaters, then second down here would be your water, electric, cold water, warm water, and then down here you'd have your supporting content that's all mixed up. It'd be about waters, hot water, cold water, electric water, and all this stuff. But it's all fighting for the same keywords. I hope this is making sense. Is this making sense to you? Of why this is bad? And then you're double tracking back, checking in, and you're seeing your impressions are going up, right? At least for a short period of time. But then clicks go down, and then your page just eats. Your pages just eat each other. And then after like 6 or 7 months, what happens? Google's just like, I don't know what to rank. We're not going to rank anything. I'll get your competitor in here. Why? Because he's targeting and focusing on a keyword like they're supposed to. Right? Okay. This is why I don't like these secondary categories or secondary keywords. All right? Secondary keywords, if it's too close, get this. If you put in, let's just using this example. If I put in truck accident lawyer, look at your results. Then if you put in box truck lawyer, look at your results. If you put in semi-truck lawyer, look at the results. If you see the same sites but in different orders, it's the same SERP. Okay? This goes for anything. Chiropractors, plumbers, roofers, doctors, hair follicle injectors, ear piercers, it doesn't matter. If I'm looking at the same exact SERP, looking at different keyword variations, yeah, it might be technically something different. But if Google's showing you the same results, then that means Google thinks it's the same SERP. If it's the same SERP, I only need one page. And that's the page that you want to optimize, focus your attention on, retune, re-optimize, refresh, send your links in, right? Take care of my supporting pages. We talked about secondary content, right? We talked about building out top level. Top level means primary keyword, all right? It's that simple. What's your primary keyword? The top level page, building out my topical map, starts with what are you selling? Period, end of statement, right? Where's the money? That's what goes up top. Everything else, whether it's a location page or a location-based service page, that can be supporting content, right? I can become the authority in the space, right? By building out mass and having age on the site with a lot of pages, I could build that out without building out info. I'm not saying you don't need any information, but if talking about information, well, how do I find informational content? That's one of the questions, right? How do I find informational content? Google's starting to make it so much easier for us. And just because a tool says there's 0 traffic does not, or less than 20 or less than 10, doesn't mean that it's not a keyword that we can target. Most notably, if Google shows you, let me share with you this, staying on this, harping on this example of trucks, okay? look, check this out. If I just type in truck accident info, okay? Not the people ask, but what to know truck accidents. Let's just say it's what to know. There's a new section. It depends on what the SERP is or what the intent is. But Google has not only the people also ask, but they also have another section on what to know, right? Let me see if I could get one to pop here. Things to know. There it is. So my primary keyword has things to know. Gee, I wonder what my informational content should be, right? Generally, your informational content needs to answer very simple questions. The questions are simple. Who, what, when, why, where, and how. Not always in that order, not always specifically, but generally, if it's not in the people also ask, or if it's not in the things to know, like what support I'm answering for you now is, well, what supporting content should I create? People also ask, things you need to know, but the best way to find out what to write about is what secondary keywords. Let me share this with you. I'm going to show you on some junk accounts that I don't care about, because anything you show on YouTube gets demolished, right? So I'm very selective nowadays on what I share, but I'll show you some stuff that doesn't matter. So if the numbers look all wacky, there's a reason, okay? So here, let me share this with you. Come on over here with me. I'll share this with you. I think it's this one. Okay? Here. Come here. I'll show you something. So when we come inside of here and we go to here, let me just make sure of a couple things here. Okay. Now, Search Console. All right, now we talked about people also ask. People also ask is a great way to pull in information. I know there's tools, but not everyone has access to tools, right? Not everyone has SEMrush or a Majestic or an Ahrefs account. Not everybody's got $100 or $200 to come off of every month. I talked to lots of people, lots of business owners in other countries that simply just, you know, like they're running their business and they don't have $200 to do, like, so I want to make sure that this is helpful for everyone. So other than your people also ask, there's that things to know that pops right up on primary keywords for almost every keyword. Like all the time I see it. So those are two great ways to find keywords or supporting topics. But my favorite way is inside a Search Console. All right. Again, come on over here with me. Let me share this with you. Let's say it's John, we're working on proxy, totals, a buddy of mine. John, let's say we're talking about John. I've shown him before. He's super cool. This is a really nice guy. This is one of our tryout sites. But here, let me share this something with you. If you come inside of here and you go to your performance, all right, because I want to also show you examples on how to find this stuff. So when I come inside of performance, I want to look at a specific page. Now, let's just say that car accident lawyer is a primary page, right? So what we'll do is we'll put in the primary keyword and we're going to find the page, right? You guys and gals, I'm sure you know how to utilize Search Console, right? And if you don't, there's a trillion videos out there, all right? My objective here is to show you how to find secondary keywords that you will auto rank for, and oftentimes they make great supporting pieces of content. It's secondary concepts or secondary keywords that you're already getting traffic for. Google already thinks that that's what your site's about, right? So here, we're coming inside of this page. Let's just say we're going to this page. Now, what supporting content should I make for this? Well, if it didn't only just pull in this one, all right? Now, if we look down this list, let's see how many we have. All right. When you're looking inside of your list on a page that's already ranking, is there any type of traffic, impressions, eyeballs that are showing up on the page for a secondary keyword that I could make supporting content, right? Like obviously variations of my primary keyword, like car accident lawyer, variations or match words like auto accident lawyer, car accident lawyers, car accident lawyer, accident lawyers, car wreck lawyers, right? Like this is variations, match variations, right? Doesn't make sense. But if we get taken a look, let's just see. Here's a, how about, what did I just see there? I thought I saw something that said top. Good car accident lawyers, top car accident lawyers. So that's a sentiment word, right? Sentiment words generally don't belong unless we want to write out a listicle, right? Like best of or top is generally listicle. I like to add those on their own specific pages. I think I just saw that. And what I'm top rated car accident attorneys, right? Perfect. Top rated. What a prime opportunity. Google's saying, hey, we think you're relevant for this. In fact, we're even giving you impressions for it. This is a premium opportunity to target your competition's brand names, which is their most relevant terms, and make yourself a nice little listicle post with who's going to be at the top. You. That's who. This is only one idea, one concept, but the objective here is to showcase to you that, hey, this is how you can find secondary keywords. One of the questions that's coming up from guys that know what they're doing, but they're having trouble struggling through these concepts of content clusters and topical maps. One of them is, well, how do I know what to write? When I have my primary keyword. Okay, Chris, I get that. That's what I'm selling, right? That's what we've established so far. The secondary thing is, well, what about the supporting? Well, what do I write there? Well, people also ask is a great place. On top of that, it's things to know. The third way to go ahead and do this is, well, what's inside of, what does Google already think that what I'm about? If they already think you're about it, as soon as you get a page, poof, I guarantee the page will rank way faster than all your other stuff that Google doesn't even think you're about. I promise you, you'll rank faster for it. It's just like when you have a page. If I were to go into this page and jack up the density for the word auto accident law firm, this one here, I guarantee you I start to shoot up super fast. Okay? Now, there's one more way, the easiest way, right? And that's with a tool. Now, this is a fun example. I remember seeing this somewhere, this site, this Get Wordly. I don't know where I saw it, but this is a premium example of, hey, we cranked out a bunch of content. It looks good on a chart, baby. Looks good on a chart. It looks great on a chart, but where's the money? Right? Like, yeah, that works good for that kind of stuff. But like, where's the conversion? Informational. Where's the dough? You know, for business owners that I talk to, they don't care about that. They don't even care about the SEO. They don't care about the pages. They don't care about any of that. What they want to know is, did my phone ring? Did somebody fill the form in? Right? That's what, can I pay my employees next month? You know? All right. Like, they don't care about SEO at all. Anyway, I digress. I'm very sorry. This is near and dear to my heart. You know? So where was I? We were talking about getting keywords. So the easiest way to go about this is, well, what's the question? Let's go back to our example, okay? Let's jump back to our example. We were talking about our good friends here at Hub, right? We started to lay out our topical map. We've so far discussed secondary keywords off the primary. So secondary services off of the primary. The only way I would ever do this is if I do a search for them and Google's not showing the exact same results. 80% of the time, if I search for truck accident lawyer or jackknife lawyer, I guarantee you that you're going to see different results. Also, too, is this a locational based query, right? Like, don't go stick it in a head term if Google's calling for a location page, or don't go sticking it in an info page if Google's calling for a listicle, right? Like, match the intent that Google wants to see. If you match the intent that Google wants to see, you'll have a higher probability of ranking, right? Right. Easy way to find the keywords, we're going back to our example here, right? So again, we've talked about what to lay out, how to come up with what is a topical cluster, what is the top level page. Means primary keyword, primary service, what makes dollars, or what's a broad match keyword, right? That starts our cluster top. The next element that I talked about was, hey, what about these secondaries, right? That's when we discussed this. I don't really like the concept because oftentimes if it matches inside the SERP, it starts to eat the primary keywords. Then I'm fighting cannibalization. Then I got to go do more work, right? I only want to do the work once and I want my client to win. That's it. You see? Now what we're doing here is, that I shared with you, well, once I have my topical, well, how do I start doing my supporting? I gave you 3 ways to find supporting content, but here's the easiest way. This will be 4 ways, all right? Now what we're going to do is, well, let's say we're doing a water heater installation, okay? More notably, let's talk about water heaters because we're on the top level. We're looking for supporting content for the top level page, right? So the top level is water heater, right? I don't want to get too far off of our example. So let's come inside of here and let's search for it. It's that easy. Water heater. Okay. Now remember, the best way for us to create informational content, yeah, we have multiple ways to search inside of SEMrush and any tool that you love. Ahrefs, there's so many tools. I like SEMrush. All right. It's just one tool. There's so many tools. If you want to try a bunch of tools before you buy them, go to Flickover. Go to Google, type in group by, SEO tools group by. Go type it in and see who's there. Who shows up at the first, second, or third. If they accept credit card, they're probably good. No matter what, you'll get your money back. Go try your tools out, okay? Group buys, that's what you're looking for, all right? Don't be worried. Anyway, moving on to the next tip. So now we're looking for informational queries. What I like to do is I like to just click on the questions button. Let SEMrush do all the work for you. What questions do I need to answer? Right? Are these questions that could support the main topic? But let's get more finite. Let's get more into the weeds, right? Like let's say it's water heater installation. Well, what questions are available? Well, look at this. There are literally 2,944 supporting pieces. So the question comes up, well, how much do I need? How much do you need? Well, what I'm going to tell you next is this comes up the most often with clients. Not every keyword has this many questions to answer. Not every single keyword is this plentiful, I assure you. This is a great example. But generally, you're going to see 10, 20 questions. So how many should you create? What we like to do and what we understand is you can create and answer all of these questions. And you can make them supporting content, right? But what you're going to find out is no matter how much tweaking and optimizing without spending money on links, I'm saying write a piece of content, optimize it, and throw it up. There's only a certain percentage that's actually going to hit, right? On any website. So if you get to a query that you have this much supporting content, if you have the budget, if you can afford it, if you're using AI, create your pieces of content and see what Google likes. What does Google reward? That's what I would start with, right? If you can only do small batches, do small batches. If you can do 10 in a month, great, do 10. If you can do 20, great, do 20. But oftentimes what you're going to find is there's only so many questions that you can answer, okay? But usually content creation is based on budget. One of the questions that I've gotten inside my group is, well, what about this AI content? All right. Like, can I use that? Is it okay to use it? Can I use it on top level pages? You know, I've seen whole sites built on AI at this point, right? Like, is it okay for you to use AI? Like, it's not okay for you to go out there and utilize a tool such as Jasper, where hundreds of people are utilizing the same exact, because it's not the models. It's what's the next layer on top that whoever coded it decided to put on top so it would spit out a positive result so they could sell it. How many people use that same exact model with that same exact fine tune on it over and over and over and over and over again? That's the question. It's not the model. It's not the 137 billion parameter model, I assure you. But we don't know what layers they put on top. That's the problem. All right? So what I'm getting at here is if you're going to utilize AI, utilize the AI for yourself and make your modifications. There's a lot of tools out there now that you can fine tune, or you can chain prompt your chains. You can chain prompt. That's almost like a fine tune. There's even these missing prompts out there where you can feed in text data from top performers and it will help you write better articles. You can look all this stuff up. This video is not about AI by any stretch of the imagination, but of course I'm heavily interested in these types of things. All right, so that answers that question. I totally forgot that I was streaming this. I thought I was recording it. So let me see if you guys have any questions. It just dawned on me, hey, you're streaming. Totally forgot. So let's see. Let's see if you guys have anything to talk about. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, by the way. Chris, what are you doing up at 4 o'clock in the morning? Did you go to sleep? No, I did not. I had a horrible, not a horrible day, but it was a interesting day. You know, client meeting day is always an interesting day, you know? Yes. It was a different kind of day. So you're our Andrew Tate, the top G of SEO. Thank you, Channel. I appreciate that. I think. Yeah, but just minus the, you know, a lot of things. Okay, you know? Minus a whole lot of other things, though. I like the term, the top G term. Okay, that's kind of cool. But I read about that guy. I don't know if I want to be like him. Next though, Shashi. Hey Chris, I'm watching you. Keep going. Yes. Yes, sir. Just so I understand you properly, don't break down the main topic, water heaters. Just create another piece of water heater repairs. What you could. Let's not get hung up on the specifics. This top level could be, I chose water heater just to make a better explanation, but this could be water heater repair, right? In fact, for most service businesses, this probably is going to be water heater repair, right? Because that's the primary service. And then oftentimes what it's going to be is it's going to be either states here. So we'll say like Georgia. And then you would do Atlanta. Okay? I spelled that wrong. Sorry. You know what I meant. Right? You'd have your Georgia, and then you'd do Atlanta. And then you would do location 2, location 3, location 4. The top level page is water heaters. And we're in the state of Georgia, and then we're doing Atlanta. But what if we're doing water heaters, but we're only in one state? I get this question a lot. We're only in one state. Well, then this water heater page, I would gear it around water heaters in Georgia, or water heater repair in Georgia, or water heater installation in Georgia. Also, here's the other piece that I get, right? Like, should you do this? Here's a premium example, just like this truck example. All right, here. So just like this truck example, I get this question a lot. Let's clarify this too. All right. Sorry to get stuck on the question. I'm going to get to everybody. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm here to help you. That's the only reason I'm here. Okay. Water heaters. All right. Let's hone in on this. So here's the thing that I see a lot of. So they'll do water heater install, right? And then they'll do water heater repair. Wrong. I assure you that these keywords are very, very similar. If anything, I would bring this to another page. I would create a water heater installation silo. Like if you want to hit all the cities, great, do it. And the water heater repair silo. Repair and installation, I almost can assure you, are going to throw two different results. Actually, let's go take a look. Let me show you what I mean by this. Like what I mean by checking Google to see is if I'm in, let's say, Wilkes-Barre. Let's say this is a city by me. Let's say that we are in how about Miami? Okay, I think that's a big city. So let's look up water heater installation. Okay, and let's take a look. So Home Depot, Lowe's, YouTube, right? So we have Lowe's, well, Home Depot, Lowe's. Now let's do repair. So we're searching from the same place, Miami. Water heater repair. So we have installation and then repair. Home Depot, look at this. Spruce handyman, searching from the same place. So looking at these two SERPs, right? Now go to the next. YouTube. Now is Bob Vila. Countryside Fuel. Then Forbes. Looking at these two SERPs, what do you think? Do you think that this deserves its own? Is there two separate intents here? Is there two different types of eyeballs? Is Google trying to serve two different types of people? Or do you think it's the same SERP? What do you think? It's trying to serve two different types of people. It's two separate queries, right? Now, if I was doing a search for, say, truck accident lawyer, okay? Truck accident lawyer. So I look down the list, truck accident lawyer, and we got Shaked, Pensis, PETA, Stewart, Gearson, okay? Now let's do how about this, better yet, 18-wheeler accident lawyer. Gee, who would have thought? Shaked, Stewart, Lavnit, Wolfston. PETA and Wolfston switch spots, but it's the exact same results. Does it make sense to have two separate pages that are just fighting each other? See, what happens is when you're fighting each other, like Google doesn't know. It will give your secondary keywords to your competition. It'll give it to them. If they're better optimized around 18-wheeler and they don't have two pages fighting for it and talking about the same exact thing, because you know you're internally linked, you know you're linking from your top level page over to your other secondary pages, right? Those anchor texts carry more weight. Those A tags where you're internally linking those secondary keyword pages, they hold more weight than having the higher density on the page. You're just fighting yourself. It doesn't matter if you were doing this for water heaters, trucks, Kairos, or lawyers, or whatever you're doing it for. Just fighting yourself. And I hate seeing that with business owners, but they just, no matter how many times you tell them, like, it's just crazy. Anyway, let me help the next person here. Just so I understand, yep, we talked about that. Same applies to water heater repairs, water heater installation. Well, we just expanded on that. Rami. I don't know what this guy means, but I like it. KPSEO. What tool do you trust most to show these questions? I believe Surfer Pulls, the people also ask. I trust Google. I trust Google. Right? Like, I trust Google because it's there. I don't utilize Surfer for the content stuff, but if you want to utilize it, by all means. I know Surfer's a good tool. I never utilize their content planning tool. I know people that are utilizing it, So if that's something that you can work with in order to help your business, then definitely run with it. I mean, they're probably all pulling from the same APIs, you know, but if you can utilize something free to get the same information, then I would just use that. But it's totally up to you. But I trust Surf for sure. KPSEO, haven't seen things to know pop in Aussie SERPs though. Things to know. Yeah, I haven't. I can't speak on Australian SERP, so I'm not 100% sure, but you never know. Generally, though, they'll roll out here, then they'll roll out UK, then they'll roll out Canada, then they roll out Australia. That just seems to be that progression. Oh, and usually India's in there somewhere. Sorry. KP, I know we can go manually to pull these questions, but just looking for the quick method. Yeah, there's so many tools out there. Like, so many. There's a million tools. Surfer, if you utilize that one, use that one. But I assure you there's probably Keywords Everywhere pulls it in, and they just use the API, Google API. Same thing Surfer does. It's like, how do you want to package and how much money do you want to spend? You know what I mean? It's the same data. When you have 2 pages indented in the SERP, let's say ranking 5 and 6, indented or nested. I like this word. Who started using that, indented? Was that a Google term? I heard someone else say that. I feel like I know you. Rogue Drone. I heard someone else say that, indented. That specific word. But anyway, let's say 5 and 6 in the detune. Are you looking to rank higher than 5 as usual as a result? If I detune an indent, would I rank higher? Depending on what the indent is. The indent is often a secondary keyword, right? Or kind of like that truck accident example that I utilized, right? Oftentimes, like if you say you're ranking for truck, there'll be 18-wheeler or semi-truck will be the indent. And that's often the next page that's eating into your money, like eating into your page, right? So on, generally you're going to go up. Like if you're at 5, do I think you're going to spike up to number 1? That's hard to say. But do I think that we could get a SERP adjustment? 1,000%. 1,000%. Like, could I get another increase of 1? Yes. When you're up in those types of positions, getting 1 rank, depending on the keyword, getting a 1 position jump is a big deal. Like if I go from 3 to 2, that's a huge deal. You know? If I go from 5 to 3, massive deal. You know? Anyway, next. Sal the toaster, does it also work for e-commerce shops? Okay. So for e-com shops, depending on how many SKUs and how many products and what type of products you're selling, like I have a guy that sells CBD gummies, right? Him and I have been working together for probably about 5 months. I hit every piece of informational content under the sun, okay? But with that being said, educating, like a guy that is getting their water heater repaired doesn't need to be educated on why, like, hey, my water's cold. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different concept than what we're really getting behind here. But can this topical understanding what your top level keyword is and then building out secondary pages or secondary supporting pages, like that same concept, yes, of course it works. There is a free tool for this SERP overlap. SEMrush uses indented too. Cool. Awesome. Okay. We've been talking for an hour. I want to come back to this. The indents I see are usually home page and location page, or a location page with the supporting info page. Yeah. So usually if I see that home page there, I'll just go in there and, like, usually it's lowering the amount of internal links. Like if you're linked in the head and the foot, I'll usually take the foot out. Like if I'm seeing that across a lot of pages. And also too, like, lowering the amount of internal link flow going to the home page and passing that flow to your top level pages if you can. Like, try to point a lot of your internal links to your top level pages, not the home page per se. The home page is getting plenty of love, I assure you. Like, there's no need to, like, have an extra home button, a home button with a logo, a home button with a double home button with logo in the head, and then also in the foot, and then also other locations going to the head throughout the articles. Like, it's just not necessary. Like, I don't need 4 links from every single page pointing at the home page and making it ultra strong. Now, it would be in your best interest to get 2 or 3 links to all of your, from all of the pages that are relevant to your top level pages. That makes sense. All right. All right. I don't want to be too long-winded. I can break this up into other little segments. I hope that I answered some of these questions. I wanted to get into more, but I hope that I answered some of this stuff. Site structure. Do I need dozens of supporting articles? How many pieces of content are needed? This is another thing I see so often. The word that I'm looking for, is it?
Linguistically.
Linguistically. Linguistically, everything's connected, right? Like, at some point, everything's connected. You know, I was talking to James DeLacy on a podcast the other day, right? Awesome guy. And, you know, he has a blog, and he sells volleyball stuff, right? And with the understanding of current teachings out there, in order to fill out my topical map completely, that would mean that I would need to start talking about the sand, the fibers in the rope, right? Like, no matter what, because then if I'm talking about the sand, then I might as well talk about the earth. If I'm talking about the earth, I might as well start talking about states. If I'm talking about states, I should talk about continents. Like, see how far you could go? Like, if it's not going to assist a sale, then it's not worth having. If it's not better educating for your services or products, then it's not worth writing. So to answer the question of how much content do you need? How much content does it take in order to help assist a sale? Or how much content, or how many videos, or how many podcasts, or how much information is needed on a page for that customer to understand what that product and how that product can be, you can help them with that product. That's how much content you need. I'm getting tired now. I love you guys. I answered a few of the questions. I wanted to get through more, but we've gone for an hour. Dude, that time passes so fast. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you right now. I hope that I covered enough for you. I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to break these up into smaller, like, shorts. I have a lady helping me do this, so I can crank those out more. But we answered using AI for content. Oh, let's talk about this flow. All right. Now, should I do it here or should I do it in the computer? What do you like? I got the board. I got the board to draw on. It's pretty fun. Here's what I'll do for you. Here, I'll shut this down. Image. Oh, August 22nd through the 24th, I will be in Las Vegas for Digital Unfiltered. You can visit digitalunfiltered.com. Myself, Craig Campbell, Ted Kubitis, Clint Butler, Holly Starks, Steve Toth from SEO Notebook, so many people. Victoria Altman, she's super cool. She's in the same space as me, but that's okay. Here, let's take a look at this. Look at that. That is just a beautiful thing. Let's start talking about this content and internal linking. Now, I've drawn this out before, but I was asked to draw it out a little bit in a different way. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Now, okay. I'm looking for my pen, sorry. Oh, stuff on my shirt. Give me 1 second. Ah! Give me 1 second. There you go. Oh. Give me 1 second. I got you. There you are. All right. Now. Man, what a tough day, man. For real, though, guys and gals, my friends. What a stressful day. Internal linking. All right. Let's discuss internal linking here. All right. Let's say that you are a car accident lawyer. Okay. So you're a car accident lawyer. And here's what you're up to. All right. So you have your law.com website. Okay. Now, law.com is my top level. Okay. Homepage. Okay. Law.com. So we're going to do it just like that. So law.com. Homepage. Now, from that homepage, the next thing that I need to do is I want to build out my top level page. Right? Now what do? Top level. Can you see that okay? Ah, that looks pretty good. So you can see my top level page. So this is law.com / car accident lawyer / top level page. Okay? law.com/car accident lawyer. Now, just for fun, top level. Okay? So we have law. Oh, as far as it goes. You can't see past there. Here. Well, hopefully you can see that. So we have we have law.com as the home page. Car accident lawyer, that's a top level page coming off of home. Okay? Now, what would be next as a next level? Okay? Now, if we're talking about a multi-state, all right? On the car accident lawyer page, all right? What would I link to? So let's talk about this page. If I'm on this page, I have this is my main nav. Okay? This is my footer. In the side here, I have Texas. Okay? Texas, Florida, Texas, Florida, Pennsylvania, and California. All right? This is the sidebar. Also inside of here, I would have a small section where it would list it out again. Florida, Texas, right? California. So this would be our H1, content, H2, content, H3, content, block. This is like a paragraph, so a paragraph block. Okay? And then you'd probably have an H4, content, H5, just for fun. I'll fill out the rest of the page, H6. All right? So I'm double linking to my state pages from the sidebar and also inside the content. And how you can do this, here, I'll show you something here quick, is just like this. Here's exactly what I mean by this. So here, check this out. So we just started messing around with this guy. He does, they're rebuilding, I think they're redesigning it, but here, I'll show you something here quick. We're not design people, so we have to offload I have a design person that I work with. What is the, how about, here. So here, let's take a look at AC repair. No, not AC repair. So all I'm talking about is, see how they have these blocks on here? Let me show you something real quick. See, like a little block. So here is the top level page is about Georgia. Okay, you see this? Did I show that? Okay, good. So here we have Georgia. So it's appliance repair in Georgia. They only do Georgia. And then here's the cities that they service inside of Georgia. And there's a little block. That's it. Top level page is appliance repair in Georgia because they only do Georgia. And then here's the cities that they want to service in Georgia. About a 20, maybe 30-mile radius. Okay? These are the cities that they want to target in that particular area. So that's what I mean by a paragraph block. Okay? That's precisely what I mean by a paragraph block. A sidebar Or a secondary footer would be something like this. See how this is here? This is actually, I believe, in the footer, but it would look like it's in the, it looks like it's in the footer, but this could all be text, okay? I'm just trying to share with you examples so you know what it looks like specifically. And then a sidebar would be a list of areas. I had somebody show me this. Here, take a look at this. Bronx. Somebody showed me this, and what's hysterical about it is it's precisely what I recommended. And then and then it's brought to my attention, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I said to do. I can't show you that. Anyway, let's get back to business. All right. Where were we? Let's jump back into this. All right, check this out. So we have the law, right? Here's law / car accident lawyer. Okay, you with me? Yes? Good. All right, can you see that? So we have our block inside the text, just like I showed you on John's site, right? That could be a P text. These right here are going to be A tags. The A tags, what would you put inside the anchor text? That's another question that I get. Well, what should go inside of there? Well, what I would highly recommend if we're internally linking on a page, anchors, okay? Anchor text or anchors are exact. Okay? So anchor text are exact. All right? Now, the only thing with having anchor text as exact is that we need to be very mindful of the tuning that we do inside the page or on page, okay? What I mean by tuning is the density that's inside the actual text. I know that a lot of the people will, you'll read online, oh, density doesn't matter, word count doesn't matter, pictures don't matter, like this stuff doesn't matter. They can believe that. Density, how many headers have keywords in them, what's in the title tag, what's in the H1s, what's in the H's, what the words are, what the density is, and most notably, how many A tags are on the page, how many 2-word phrases, 3-word phrases, 4-word phrases, how many variations, how many match words, how many videos do you have, how many embeds do you have a map, right? All these pieces, look at it as like lines on a gallon jug, you know? Like 2% is 2 lines of fat on the gallon jug, right? Think of it kind of like that, or a piggy bank, right? I need 100 pennies makes a buck, right? So if I'm trying to make my dollar, and each one of these elements is like adding a penny, I want to make sure that I get the right penny so I can get my dollar, right? So it's the same exact concept. So let's make sure of that. So we want to make sure we have our densities correct if we're going to add the anchor text as exact, no matter where you put it. If I put it in the sidebar, it counts for the page. Google renders the DOM. The rendered DOM is what they're utilizing in order to understand, like, this is what they rank off of. It's the rendered DOM. Period end. Okay? So if it's in the rendered DOM, it's being counted. So is the sidebar, are the details in the sidebar in the rendered DOM, yes or no? Yes. Yes. Also, too, the overall text, like there's an extension out there. It's a Chrome extension. Here, I highly recommend you ladies and gentlemen, get this. Here, I'll share this with you here quick. I don't know what account it's in. Is it in this one? I don't want to go hunting it down, but here, I'll show you something here quick. Rendered DOM extension. Okay, so then you can visualize the rendered DOM. Now, it'll say like RD or something like that. It's an extension. Chrome developers, rendered source. Here it is, the V. I knew it was like a letter of some sort. Now, see, here's the rendered, and then here's the difference. See, there's an actual difference. So if you utilize this extension, or you can utilize your Chrome developer tools, there's also a Chrome extension called Developer Tools. You can utilize those if you're more familiar with them, but this works just as well. You can pull the page and then see what Google actually sees. All right, and this is what they're ranking off of. Now, all information that's in there is being counted. It goes into the weight. metadata, titles, H tags, if it's in the sidebar, if it's stuffed inside of 2 embed tags, and I have words in there, those words are being counted. Okay? Anyway, I digress. Where were we? So I got lost in the sauce on the anchor text because that was a question in my list. Hey, well, what anchor text do I use? You use exact match, but I need to tune the page accordingly. Okay? Awesome. Home, top. So this is car accident lawyer. Here's what the page looks like. Main navigation. Here's my H tags. Here's my internal linking going to where? My state pages. Okay? And then this is my sidebar going where? To my state pages. Well, what does that look like, Chris? Well, let me share with you. So I'm going to get rid of this. This is a small explanation that we utilized in order to point out pieces within the page. But this is what the page looks like. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this stuff so it doesn't look all messy and crazy. All right? And I apologize in advance for my handwriting. I'm trying to get ideas out as fast as I can so I can help you. So this is here. This is what the page looks like. There's the page, law.com/car accident lawyer. Now we're going to start talking about the state pages. We know that we're internally linked 2 times here. And we know that the top level pages are linked where? In main navigation and in the footer. Right? Right. So now here's what the next page will look like. All right? I'll write it out for you, but here. State. Okay? If you want to call this a secondary page, you can. Like, don't let all these terms, like stumble you. All right? Don't let these terms and all this topical maps and silos and clusters and all this crap. Primary keyword, states, city, support. Right? Let's call it something else. All right? Top level pillar page. All right? State top level page. So pillar page, top level page, secondary page, supporting content. You can put whatever names you want on it. Money page, money page, money page, supporting content. All right? But I digress. Let's get back to state, okay? So we're going back into state. What's that look like, Chris? Let me show you the structure. We have law.com, all right? Now, this came up too. Chris, I saw in some of your old videos, you were building top-level pages, but now you're putting forward slashes and you're putting states. Yeah, that's right. There's more than one way to do something right. Like, it's not that building out like the forward slashes and making the structure, it's not that that's better. But if there's more than one state, or I have a bunch of service areas or a bunch of services, it makes it easier to keep everything in order. Now, if I'm a one state, one service, or maybe even 2 services, but I'm only in one state, then I could keep the structure flat because it's easier. It's not going to become messy. I could keep everything in order, right? I don't need assistance of sidebars and footers, and I don't need, it's easier to keep in order. That's the only thing. But you could keep it flat. Go look at Brian Dean's Backlinko website. His whole website is flat. Flat works. There's a lot of other sites. And if you're worried about going too far deep, like, oh, Google only crawls 3 hops, or Google says keep the URL short. You have to remember, if I have law.com, okay, and then I have a car accident lawyer / Georgia accident lawyer, the URL that they're talking about or speaking about to being short is in this section. This section here. Okay? This is what's short. What they mean when they say that, if you go and you read, is the section that's in here needs to be short. Like, they don't want you to put a sentence as the actual URL or the title or the name of that goes in the slug. That needs to be short. Each forward slash is a new page. Okay? Like, it could go as far as you want. There are massive amounts of URLs that are really far deep that rank perfectly fine. Okay? It's not that they step, and we're not talking about redirect chains here where they stop at 3 hops. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about URLs on your website that's internally linked, that we're building links to, that we're keeping fresh, and we're getting indexed, running site maps. They're coming to that page. Now, whether it's useful for the end user and whether, that initial test phase, whether people are staying or bouncing, how long their dwell time is, that type of thing, will determine if that page stays in there, if it's valuable to the SERP, and whether it goes into the forward-facing index or gets kicked back into the index where no one can see it. It's indexed. Google knows it's there. It's indexed, baby. But that doesn't mean that it's of value. There's too many pages. There's too much content. Again, I digress. But I wanted to hammer that home. Flat structure works. This way works. This is better when I have multiple locations, multiple services on a bigger site. It's easier to keep in order. It's easier to structure. That's all. All right? You can go either way. Now we've talked about laying out the page. What type of anchor text do I utilize internally linking to these pages? Exact, but we have to tune accordingly. And then when we start talking about these next pages, well, what does this look like? This state page. So we have law.com/car accident lawyer / let's just say it's Florida accident lawyer. Okay. So now we have law.com /car accident lawyer, Florida car accident lawyer. Or you could just put FL. It's up to you. All right. We want to make sure primary keywords are in the URL. You could probably get away with putting Florida car accident lawyer, but if you're doing work for a client, they're probably going to complain, hey, I want to keep it short, because they're not SEOs. They don't do this every day. They don't understand the concepts as well as we do, right? But I think about this every day. I've been thinking about this every day for 10 years. You know what I mean? So like, it's easy for me, but sometimes I have to remember that. All right. Law, car, Florida. Okay, this is the state page. Again, when we're on the top level car page, I'm linking to only the car pages. Inside of this section here, this is a body section that's paragraph text. It's going to be plain text, but it's anchor text linking to my state pages from the top level page. Top level car accident lawyer page links to the state pages. When I'm on the state page, in the sidebar and in this section here, in this section and in the sidebar, I then link to my city pages. So cities that are in Florida, right? Because I'm running out of room, you would have home, right? Here, I'll just do it in one. Top level. So this is going to be car, state, city. Now, where the fun comes in is on these supporting pieces. In the sidebar and in here, you'll have 2 sections. Why? Because on supporting content, I have to get supporting content unless I want to create freaking 30 or 50 pages. Unless I have enough to carry each of these sections, generally what I want to do instead is on these pages, I'll have 2 separate sections, because on supporting content, it's going to be long form. There's more areas for me to break it up. So on the supporting content, I link to city level, state level, top level, only in the car category. Okay? It's linking up. All right? Car links to the states. Top level links to states. States link to cities. Cities, okay, link to state, link to car. Supporting links to city, state, car. Does that make sense? Okay, I love you guys. It's 5 o'clock. A lot of fun. Throw out chew gum. Let him chew. Thank you, 111. Voice is too low. Well, the mic's over here. Thanks, bro. You're 1 in a million, dude. It's my pleasure. SEO Unleashed with Yash. Thanks, Yash. Please throw chew gum. I did. I bit my lip, so you're in luck. I see you guys. Who's the... I don't get it. You don't get it. Well, you're the person I'm looking for. All right. You don't get it. All right, I'm going to go one more time. Can you see this okay? Homepage. Right? Primary. Okay? Let's say primary page. Let's say car accident lawyer. States. You can call this secondary pages. Call this whatever you want. I'm building out the map for you. City. Support. Blog. Info. Okay? Let's talk about internal linking. This is a silo. This is also a topical map. All right? You could look at this, or we can use any phrase you want. It doesn't matter to me. Silo, topical map. The topical map is easy. Car accident lawyer. The car accident lawyer services Florida, California, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Texas, Alabama, Wisconsin, whatever. But let's hammer down on just Pennsylvania. In Pennsylvania, what cities do they do? Well, they do Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Philly, Altoona, Tamaqua, right? And we have our supporting pieces of content to answer who, what, when, why, where, how, right? Who's the best car accident lawyer? Where to find the best accident lawyer? When should I hire a car accident lawyer? Now let's talk about internal linking, okay? I have a client, technically, probably like as far as credentials, I've never seen anyone with more credentials in my life, and I explained this concept here. And it's an interesting thing. I just couldn't believe that they didn't get it. We're talking about super smart people here. So I can understand where there's a little bit of struggle. At any point, whomever said that I don't get it, say, hey, I don't get that. Tell me where that we don't get it. So on the primary page, car accident lawyer, on that page, remember, here's what a page looks like. This is the head, this is the foot. Inside the page, there's a section, like I showed on that John site, where it's just words. You could do it anyway. You can make it pretty with pictures. You can make a grid. You could do anything you want. It's your website. But just for sake of example, let's just say it's words that are listing out the states that I do business in. And then there's also a sidebar that lists the states here. Header. What the flip? Oh, there was a pin. This is magnetic. There was a push pin stuck to it, and it kept sticking me in the finger, and I'm like, ah! I dropped the sucker 3 times. I was like, what keeps sticking me? Header, footer, sidebar, body content that just has words that link where? To the state. Remember, this is the top level page. This is the top page. These here and here in the body, and also sidebar, only links to the state pages. Okay? So this links to the states. State internal linking. Okay? So from here to here is state. Now on the states, in the same places, sidebar in the body content, I link to my city. When I'm on the blogs link to all 3 levels in the same areas. In the body and in the sidebar, I link to all the cities that are in only for car, only in that state, right? Now, if I'm linking to all the different, it doesn't matter how many. Remember, if it's informational content, I have multiple areas within a page. It doesn't have to just be one. I could have 2, I could even have 3 sections that there's blocks of text or pictures. You can even put it in accordions and hide it. It doesn't matter. It's your site. Do whatever you want. But in that blog content, I link to the city. Now, when I'm in the blog, I link to city level, state level, and to the top level from here. Or you could draw it like this. Here. Or you could draw it like this. There, you can draw it any way. If people understand it as a different way, that's flat down. I'll draw it like this. Home. Top level. Right? So here's car. Here's truck. State level, right? State, 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 state. So here's the states. From here, city, city, city. Info, 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 right? This is the silo. Look at, I have a top level page. This is car accident. I service 4 separate states. In each of those states, there's different cities, and they always have supporting. The states link to the cities. The cities link to the state, and these informational links to city and state, and top level usually. Some people don't like to do them all. I like to get it all in there. I don't care what it looks like. I care about internal link flow. Still don't get it? Ah, beautiful. I like the tree like that. Awesome. I'm glad I could help you. That's the goal. Awesome. So you get it. We're all good here. Sidebar right side, it's at bottom of page on the mobile. Great point. Doesn't matter. What matters the most, Katie, is that those A tags are on the page. I see people cheating with table of contents. They'll do double table of contents where they'll have the table of contents at the top, and then they'll list their jump links to their states and whatnot. There's a prominent law. I think it's called like Law Rank. Go check out some of their stuff. I'm talking about a big, like, dude, they do it. They'll have the table of contents, dude. They'll jump to other pages. They're super clever with that bar. You don't have to be clever though. It's just, you just have to internally link. Okay? Let me see. Is there anything else? Why would you have a sidebar of states if it's the city page? In order to pass flow. On the city page, I'm only linking to this state because I'm in this silo. I'm linking to the state page, back to the state page. I'm not linking to all the states. See how this is a silo? Car links to all the states. It links to all the states. When I'm on this state, let's just say it's Florida. When I'm on Florida, on the Florida car accident lawyer page, I'll list all the cities in Florida that I do service on. When I'm on this particular page right here, I'm going to link up on these city pages. I'm linking back to here. I'm linking back to the state of Florida. Only Florida. Okay? But when I'm on this informational content, I'm linking to all the cities and the state. Okay? Now, I've seen people do this. They'll make evergreen. They'll make a boatload of information. They'll answer every single freaking query. They'll create hundreds, 20, 30 pieces of informational content every single month. They'll answer every query, but then they'll load it up. They'll point these to all over the place. Like they won't make state-specific informational content, but then they lose that local relevance. Then they're trying to do these like embeds and all these links and all this extra crap instead of just building out the content and doing the internal flow like Google wants. Then they're trying to cheat it and doing all this extra stuff, and then the page looks like crap. Nah, we don't do that. We're smarter. We're smart, right? We want to do what Google shows, and Google gives us the blueprint. Google has a blog. Google gives us those Google business sites. Google gives us the blueprint of how they want stuff to look, right? Like nowhere are they doing, like if Google has a blog about their location in California, I assure you they're not talking about ice cream shops in California. Okay? Like they're not talking about museums. They're not talking about bus routes. They're not talking, nah. It's not how it's done. But they are internally linking to relevant content. Okay? And any big player, any big site that you go to, big sites, like not people trying to run up and like cheat the system, but big sites, they keep the structure simple. The internal link flow is simple, the content is simple, but it serves a main purpose. And that's what I want for you guys. I love you guys. I gotta run. Little Chris is camping. I ran home to do some work. I'm driving back into the woods. I'm gonna climb into the tent and pass out. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. This is a clean structure. Yes. Very clean, my friend. Yeah, I don't mess around. Oh. And then these outbound links, right? Generally, if you're going to have outbound links on these pages, like Google crawls all links, whether they're follow or no follow. No follow and do follow or is a directive from the webmaster, right? Google doesn't care. They do whatever they want. They rule things, right? So a directive doesn't matter. And why I'm saying this is if you're going to, that means that you're a webmaster and if you put something on your site that you don't trust, that you need to make it no follow, it doesn't belong there. So if it's a valuable resource and I'm outbound linking to something, it deserves a do follow. Plus Google's going to follow it anyway. Rank is being passed anyway, right? So what I'm getting at here is only have, if you're going to link out, link to authority sources or things that expand on a point or make it a reference point, a statistic, something that makes sense for the end user. Because there's never a reason to get them off your page. You're ending the session and answering their query. That's the objective. That's Google's goal, is to have that person happy. I don't want to send them off the page. I want them to end the session. They're searching for a car accident lawyer. I need them to end on me. Because if they go bouncing around to someone else, I'm going to drop in rank. Anyway, hopefully this is explained a little bit more today. I've had a lot of fun. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Katie111. Everybody, I'm glad to see ya. Wavy Media, beast mode. Yes, sir. I don't get it. Well, hopefully we explain that. Let them chew. Yes. I don't know who 111 is, but thank you. Let them chew. You back long time ago. Not gum, but chew. I lost a job over that. I was there like 2 days. I never did good working for other people. So anyway, I love you guys. Have a great rest of your night. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.